Number 1. Taboos in Mongolia. You might find it hard to believe, but in the past, the Mongols had a rule against bathing and washing clothes. This law dates back to the time of Genghis Khan and stemmed from the belief that water was the dwelling place of the gods. Stepping into rivers or streams to bathe or wash dirty clothes was seen as an act of disrespect, potentially angering the deities and bringing disaster upon the entire community. Because of this belief, even amidst continuous warfare or daily movement across the vast steppes, Mongol soldiers were strictly forbidden from bathing. After wearing their clothes, they would simply dust them off and shake out any lice before continuing to wear them. Only when the fabric was completely torn would they discard it. While this may sound uncomfortable, for the ancient Mongols, body odor was not considered offensive. On the contrary, it was seen as a distinctive trait that helped identify individuals within the tribe. In fact, the scent of sweat from the leaders was associated with strength and authority. There are stories that if someone was given a suit of armor soaked in the sweat of Genghis Khan, it was a great honor, as it was akin to inheriting a part of his fighting spirit. Due to their reverence for water, the Mongols also established extremely strict regulations to protect water sources. They completely prohibited defecating near rivers, lakes, or streams. Anyone who violated this rule could face severe punishment, which in some cases could lead to violence. Additionally, when invited into a traditional jur tent, there are two important things to remember. The first is that whistling is not allowed. The Mongols believe that this sound can attract wandering spirits or malevolent forces, bringing misfortune to the host. The second is that one should not step on the threshold. For them, the threshold is a sacred boundary that protects the safety of the family, and stepping on it is considered an act of disrespect. Even when witnessing a shooting star in the Mongolian sky, they do not make wishes like many other cultures. The Mongols believe that each star represents a human soul. When a shooting star appears, it signifies that a soul has just departed from the world. Therefore, instead of making personal wishes, they remain silent, bow their heads, or pray to show respect. Due to this belief, when they see a shooting star, the Mongols often avoid looking directly at it. For them, it is not a moment to seek luck, but a time to maintain solemnity for the soul that has just passed away. So, what is the longest you have ever gone without bathing? Let's see if anyone can surpass the legendary record of the ancient Mongols. Number 2. Customs you can't believe are real. It is quite rare to find a Mongolian wedding taking place in winter, and the reason behind this is quite interesting. In fact, winters in Mongolia are extremely harsh, so cold that any outdoor activities become inconvenient. However, what is particularly noteworthy is that Mongolians want their children to be born during this season. They believe that if a child is born in the freezing weather, it learns to adapt and builds natural resilience even while in the womb. This belief is also tied to the traditional Mongolian concept of feng shui, which holds that children born in the cold season will bring good luck and possess leadership qualities. Their wedding ceremonies typically last 2 or 3 days and are deeply rooted in nomadic culture. The wedding procession travels by horse or cart, singing folk songs and drinking a traditional fermented mare's milk called arag along the way. However, the bride does not simply get into the cart to go to her husband's home. She must also go through a series of rituals that resemble a kind of examination. In many regions, the bride is required to demonstrate her skills in meat cutting, meal preparation, or participate in challenges such as archery, horse riding, and witty exchanges with elders. The purpose is to prove that she is not only skilled but also quick-witted, capable of becoming the ideal wife in the harsh nomadic environment. Yet, the most surprising aspect occurs on the wedding night. In some rural areas in the past, the first night of the young couple did not involve just the two of them. An older woman would take on the role of a guide, helping to answer questions and instructing the bride and groom on every detail. This could be seen as one of the most vivid and practical forms of sex education that ever existed. Of course, this custom has mostly disappeared today, surviving only in oral anecdotes. When it comes to marriage, ancient Mongolian customs also included a rather shocking practice from a modern perspective. When a father passed away, the youngest son not only inherited assets like livestock or land, but sometimes also inherited his father's wives, excluding his biological mother. This may sound strange, but it actually stems from the high communal nature of nomadic life. Women often depended on their husband's family, so when they lost their husband, they needed someone to protect and care for them. Thus, this practice emerged as a way to maintain stability within the family. Moreover, Ancient Mongolians had a hospitality tradition that would astonish many modern people. When a male guest visited at night, the host would not only offer food and drink, but sometimes even suggest that the guest sleep with his wife or daughter to avoid the cold. While this may seem like an overly liberal invitation, it actually arose from the need to keep warm during the frigid nights. Women were chosen because their bodies retained heat better, helping guests avoid hypothermia. However, the reality was not as romantic as one might imagine, as nomads consumed a lot of meat, rarely bathed, and wore many layers of clothing. In other words, the atmosphere during that warm night was often not as pleasant as depicted in films. Today, this custom has nearly vanished, existing only in folklore about the unique hospitality of the Mongolian people. So, if the custom of women sleeping with guests still existed, and you happened to be that guest, how would you react? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. Number 3. Mongolian women are much more skilled than men. Mongolian women often make a strong impression with their balanced and robust physiques, a reflection of their active lifestyle from a young age. From childhood, they become accustomed to horseback riding, traveling long distances, and working outdoors. A charming characteristic commonly seen is their high and full cheekbones. This is not only an aesthetic feature, but also a biological adaptation to the cold climate. Full cheekbones help to keep the face warm and reduce the direct impact of cold winds on the nose and eyes. The personalities of Mongolian women are quite different from the gentle image often associated with many Asian cultures. They are independent, decisive, and are often likened to steppe warriors. In nomadic society, women do not just stay at home. They work alongside men to care for livestock, set up tents, and protect their families from harsh nature. Many Mongolian women are also known for their ability to drink well, and sometimes after a few drinks, they can become more hot-tempered and straightforward than men. Many foreign tourists note that Mongolian women communicate directly, avoiding circumlocution, and are very clear in their personal opinions. Overall, they exude a distinctive spirit of freedom and openness. In terms of education, Mongolian women even surpass men. According to statistics from the World Women's Organization, about 62% of university graduates in Mongolia are female. While in many Asian countries in the past, girls faced limited educational opportunities, Mongolians have a tradition of raising daughters quite openly. They encourage independence, broad social interaction, and self-assertion from an early age. As a result, women's learning capabilities are significantly developed. Another noteworthy point is that Mongolians have a strong aptitude for learning foreign languages. It is quite normal for women to speak 2 or 3 languages. Many are proficient in Russian and English, and then go on to learn Chinese, Korean, or Japanese. There are even some who can speak German or French. With such language skills, Mongolian women easily access high-paying jobs and numerous opportunities for advancement. Today, Mongolian women are also very open to international relationships. They study abroad, work in multinational environments, and easily connect with people from various cultures thanks to their strong communication skills and independent thinking. Many marry foreigners or choose to live in other countries to pursue their own career paths. Are you curious about how to get to know these beautiful and talented women? If so, please comment with the number 3. Number 4. Interesting facts about the Mongolian people. In Mongolia, men have a greeting ritual that surprises many first-time visitors. Instead of shaking hands or hugging, they invite each other to smell the aroma from a small item called a snuff box. Snuff is a form of tobacco that doesn't require burning, made from dried tobacco leaves ground into a fine powder. In some cases, wood, ash, salt, or other natural ingredients are also mixed in. Mongolians store snuff in small boxes crafted from precious materials like jade, coral, or agate. The material of the box often reflects the social status and wealth of its owner. When meeting, the inviter presents the snuff box with their right hand, while their left hand lightly rests on their right elbow to show respect. The recipient also accepts it with their right hand. After that, both open the box, take a gentle sniff of the tobacco, and return it to each other. This ritual not only demonstrates politeness, but is also seen as a good wish for the meeting. In important gatherings, refusing to accept the snuff box may be viewed as impolite or unfriendly. Not only do they have a unique way of greeting, but the physique of Mongolians also attracts the attention of many foreigners. They often have large bone structures, broad shoulders, and thick muscles, giving them a solid appearance rather than being overweight. This is a result of a traditional lifestyle tied to long-distance horseback riding, moving with livestock over dozens of kilometers, and working outdoors almost every day. When you continuously mount and dismount a horse, set up a ger tent, carry heavy loads, chop wood, and live in a cold, windy environment, your body adapts by developing thick muscles to retain heat and withstand physical strain. Some anthropological studies suggest that a diet rich in meat and dairy also contributes to this characteristic robust physique. Thanks to this physique, many famous sumo wrestlers in Japan come from Mongolia. They possess natural strength, speed, and endurance, which are crucial elements in this unique sport. Another interesting aspect of Mongolian culture is a special singing style known as kume, or throat singing. This technique allows the singer to produce two sounds simultaneously. A deep bass resonates from the chest, while a high-pitched sound resembling a flute emerges above. This sound is often described as being very close to nature, akin to the wind blowing through valleys or water flowing down mountainsides. Therefore, Mongolians often sing kume while riding horses or in the vast steppe as a way to connect with their surroundings. To give you a better idea, I'll share a short clip for you to listen to. Do you find this singing style interesting? If so, please comment with the number 2. Number 5. Mongolia has 99.7% of its area uninhabited. Mongolia covers an area of nearly 1.6 million square kilometers, equivalent to the total area of Western and Central Europe combined. This places the country among the top 20 largest territories in the world. However, the biggest paradox of Mongolia is that 99.7% of its land is uninhabited, with a population of only about 3.4 million people, which is even less than that of many large cities in the United States. Each Mongolian citizen owns nearly half a square kilometer of land. While this sounds impressive, the reality is that you can travel for dozens of kilometers without encountering a single house. The main reason for this situation lies in Mongolia's unique geographical position. The country is landlocked and located deep in Central Asia, completely lacking the moderating influence of the ocean. As a result, the climate is extremely harsh. Winters can drop to -40 degrees Celsius, while summers can soar above 40 degrees. The temperature difference between day and night can sometimes reach 30 degrees, making outdoor living very challenging. Many areas also face dust storms and strong winds year-round, further intensifying the harshness of the living environment. In addition to temperature, Mongolia also has one of the lowest rainfall levels in the world. Many regions experience prolonged droughts and a severe lack of fresh water, making it difficult for vegetation to thrive. Large-scale agriculture is nearly impossible. Consequently, the population is primarily concentrated in the capital city of Ulaanbaatar and a few other major cities, where there are relatively stable water supply, heating systems, and infrastructure. The rest of the country serves as a living space for over 1 million nomadic people. Mongolia is one of the very few countries that still maintain this lifestyle to this day. Nomads live in round tents called ger, which are constructed from wooden frames and covered with multiple layers of felt. Gers can be quickly assembled and disassembled, making them easy to move and extremely suitable for the harsh climate. In winter, the round structure retains heat well, while in summer, it helps to keep the interior cool. Nomadic life revolves around 5 main animals: horses, cattle, sheep, goats, and camels. In the northern regions, people also raise reindeer to adapt to the colder climate. Each year, they move seasonally to find grass and water for their livestock. In summer, the tents are set up near rivers and lakes, while in winter, they relocate to sheltered valleys. Because they do not settle permanently, they do not build fixed villages or towns. Therefore, despite human footprints, most of the steppe is still classified as uninhabited. So, how do nomadic families find each other in the vast steppe without streets or specific addresses? The answer lies in the life experiences passed down through generations. They determine locations based on the terrain, such as mountains, rivers, or recognizable natural landmarks, like setting up a tent near a hill with a rock shaped like a horse. News is communicated orally through herders moving between areas. Number 6. Mongolia once ruled over 25% of the Earth's land area. Today, Mongolia is a vast country, but few know that in the past, its territory was many times larger than it is now. At its peak, the Mongol Empire expanded to the extent that it covered nearly a quarter of the entire land area on Earth. This empire was founded by Genghis Khan in the early 13th century. He was not only renowned as an outstanding military leader, but also held a strong belief that the world was meant to be conquered. With a highly mobile army and superior combat skills, the Mongols expanded their territory from East Asia to Eastern Europe in just a few decades. After Genghis Khan's death, successive generations continued this remarkable expansion at an astonishing pace. At its height, the Mongol Empire spanned approximately 24 million square kilometers, nearly equivalent to the combined total area of Russia and Australia, 2.5 times larger than China, and 16 times the size of present-day Mongolia. This empire stretched from Siberia, Central Asia, and Persia to the Caucasus, the Near East, Eastern Europe, Northern India, and even Southeast Asia. At that time, they controlled about a quarter of the global population, long before the concept of globalization existed. However, during their conquests, the Mongol army inadvertently contributed to one of the greatest health disasters in human history, the Black Death pandemic. During a siege of the city of Kaffa in Crimea, the Mongols catapulted the bodies of plague victims into the city. From there, the pathogens followed Italian merchants back to Europe and erupted into a pandemic, claiming the lives of more than a third of the continent's population. It would be inaccurate to say that the Mongols intentionally spread the disease, but it is undeniable that they inadvertently facilitated its spread. After its glorious phase, the Mongol Empire began to fragment for easier management. However, this division quickly weakened their power. At that time, the Mongolian population was only about 2 million, while the conquered territories had a total population in the hundreds of millions. A small nomadic society was unable to control an empire that spanned half the globe. The lack of a stable administrative system and governing experience led to uprisings in various regions, gradually dismantling the empire that had once instilled fear across the world. Although the empire no longer exists, Genghis Khan left behind a remarkable legacy, his genetic imprint. Scientists have discovered that millions of men across Asia carry a rare genetic marker believed to have originated from Genghis Khan. It is estimated that there are currently about 16 million male descendants of his living around the globe. This number is enough to form a medium-sized city where everyone can proudly claim that their ancestors once conquered nearly the entire world. Number 7. Mongolia and its surprising facts. Mongolia is a landlocked country, yet surprisingly, it maintains a naval force. This force is extremely small, consisting of about 7 sailors, an old ship donated by the Soviet Union from the 1980s, and a few small boats. Their main mission is to patrol Lake Kovsko, a large freshwater lake in the northern part of the country, often humorously referred to by locals as Mongolia's inland sea. In addition to protecting the borders and monitoring fishing activities, the sailors also take on the role of tour guides, showing visitors around the lake during peak season. However, if we turn back the clock to the 13th century, few would guess that Mongolia once possessed a formidable naval force. Under the reign of Kublai Khan, the empire built a fleet of thousands of warships, ready to extend its power across the oceans. Mongolia attempted 2 maritime invasions of Japan, but both campaigns failed when the fleet encountered fierce storms en route. The Japanese referred to these storms as kamikaze, a term that later became associated with the suicide attack squadrons during World War II. Not only notable for its military prowess, Mongolia was also ahead of its time in the field of communication in the literal sense. Before the world knew of the internet or modern postal systems, the Mongol Empire established an incredibly efficient courier network known as YAM. This system included over 1,400 relay stations, spaced about 40 kilometers apart along major routes, with around 50,000 horses always ready for service. To put it in perspective, the famous Pony Express in the United States operated over a distance of about 3,200 kilometers in the 19th century, while Mongolia's YAM network was much more extensive and appeared nearly 600 years earlier. Thanks to the YAM system, royal orders and military information could be transmitted thousands of kilometers in just a few days. Remarkably, the couriers did not use maps or compasses. They relied entirely on memory, wind direction, the position of the sun, and natural signs to navigate. Number 8. The horse and the eagle, the symbolic animals of Mongolia. An interesting fact about Mongolia is that the number of horses here exceeds 4.8 million, which is even more than the country's population. On average, it can be said that nearly every Mongolian can consider themselves to own at least one horse. Throughout history, especially during the powerful Mongol Empire, Horses played an integral role in both daily life and warfare. Thanks to horses, the Mongolian army could move at incredible speeds, covering hundreds of kilometers in a short time, thus expanding their territory faster than any other empire. Horses also enabled them to establish an efficient communication system across distant regions, creating a significant military advantage. It can be said that without horses, the Mongol Empire would have struggled to become the largest land empire in human history. Today, even though modern society has brought many changes, horses still hold a central place in nomadic life. They remain the primary means of transportation across the vast steppes. Online, it is not uncommon to see images of people riding horses to herd livestock or young children, around 5 or 6 years old, riding to school naturally, just like children elsewhere ride bicycles. In addition to transportation, horses provide milk, from which Mongolians make the famous fermented mare's milk called arag. For many families, arag is a familiar drink that appears daily at mealtime. When a horse passes away, Mongolians view it not just as a material loss, but as the departure of a close friend. To commemorate, they use the horse's tail hair to create a traditional musical instrument called the morin kur. This two-stringed instrument features a carved horse head at the top, with the strings and bow made from horse tail hair. The sound of this instrument is deep and resonant, with a unique echo often likened to the sound of the wind blowing across the steppe or the distant thundering of hooves. I will include a short audio clip for you to better appreciate this unique sound. The special relationship between humans and nature in Mongolia extends beyond horses. In the Western Altai region, the Kazakh community living in Mongolia has a profound bond with golden eagles. They use these birds to hunt small animals like rabbits or martens. This is one of the oldest forms of hunting in the world that still exists today. The selected eagles are always females, as they are larger, stronger, and more aggressive than males. Hunters raise the eagles from a young age, feeding them, living with them, and even allowing them to perch on their hands for hours to become accustomed to humans. Each day, they train the eagles to fly off to hunt and then return to perch on their owner's arm. The bond between the hunter and the eagle is so strong that many people regard the eagle as their first child. When the eagle grows old, they hold a special ceremony to release it back into the mountains, as a way to express gratitude and respect for the sky warrior that has accompanied them for many years. Number 9. A country rich in gold but still poor. Mongolia is often referred to as a treasure trove of minerals in the world. Yet paradoxically, a large portion of its population still lives under difficult economic conditions. The country boasts over 80 different types of minerals and has some of the world's top reserves of rare earth elements. Mongolia also holds the Oyu Tolgoi mine, one of the largest copper and gold mines globally, which plays a crucial role in exports, GDP, and attracting foreign investment. However, aside from a few large-scale projects like this, most of the remaining resources have not been effectively exploited due to a lack of technology, a shortage of skilled labor, and excessively high production costs. As a result, revenue from mining is insufficient to significantly improve the living standards of the people. Meanwhile, other economic sectors are developing very slowly. Industry is almost non-existent, and agriculture faces numerous barriers. Harsh natural conditions limit crop cultivation, while livestock farming, the backbone of nomadic life, increasingly struggles due to desertification, dwindling water sources, and shrinking pastures. Consequently, Mongolia's economy remains small, with a GDP of only about 20 billion USD per year. This figure is even lower than that of Inner Mongolia, an autonomous region of China, which exceeds 50 billion USD. With scarce job opportunities, low incomes, and precarious living conditions, many social issues have begun to emerge. One concerning consequence is that many women are forced to make a living through risky jobs, including sex work. Currently, it is estimated that around 19,000 women work in this field, primarily concentrated in mining areas. These locations house thousands of male workers but lack basic social services and strict legal oversight. Such an environment is prone to violence, crime, and the spread of sexually transmitted diseases. Worse still, Mongolia has become a transit point in international human trafficking networks, sending women and children to China, South Korea, and many other countries. Many victims are lured by promises of easy jobs and high incomes, only to find themselves forced into labor or sexual exploitation upon arrival. Although the government and international organizations have intervened, the weak and unstable economy remains a significant barrier to effectively addressing this issue. Number 10. The secret treasures of Mongolia. Nearly 800 years have passed since the death of Genghis Khan, yet to this day, the world still does not know exactly where he was buried. There is no grand tomb, no stone tablet inscribed with his name, and not even any clear traces left behind. This complete disappearance has made his resting place one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in human history. According to many legends, the funeral of the great Khan was kept under absolute secrecy. Those who participated in the burial, from the escorting soldiers to the servants, were executed immediately afterward to ensure that no one could reveal the location of the tomb. After the burial, thousands of horses were made to trample over the burial site to erase any evidence. Other stories suggest that a nearby river was diverted to flow across the grave, or even that the entire funeral escort was buried alongside him to guard it forever. These chilling and mysterious details have turned Genghis Khan's tomb into a legend that has puzzled archaeologists for centuries. Even as we step into the 21st century, with the aid of modern technology, this mystery remains unsolved. Numerous large-scale research projects have been launched, employing ground-penetrating radar, magnetic sensors, and high-resolution satellite imagery, but none have yielded results. Many believe that if Genghis Khan truly wished for his resting place to never be found, then that desire has been perfectly fulfilled to this day. While the tomb of the great Khan has yet to be discovered, the land of Mongolia hides another equally impressive treasure: dinosaur fossils scattered throughout the Gobi Desert. Unlike the scorching deserts like the Sahara, the Gobi is a cold desert situated at an elevation of over 1,500 meters above sea level. In winter, temperatures can drop to -40 degrees. When snow blankets the golden sand dunes, the desert creates a rare phenomenon known as snow falling on sand. In 1923, American scientists discovered the world's first fossilized dinosaur eggs in the Gobi. Since then, a series of other discoveries, including bones, eggs, and dinosaur footprints, have been continuously found. The Gobi Desert quickly became one of the most important archaeological sites on the planet, earning the nickname Dinosaur Valley due to its vast fossil reserves. Even more surprisingly, in addition to dinosaur fossils, the Gobi also preserves traces of shells, corals, and many ancient marine creatures. These findings indicate that hundreds of millions of years ago, the area now known as a desert was once a vast sea, before geological upheavals transformed it into the arid landscape we see today. Number 11. The coldest capital in the world. Ulaanbaatar is the capital and the largest city of Mongolia, covering an area of approximately 4,700 square kilometers. The current population is estimated to be around 1.8 million people, which is nearly half of the total population of the country. Interestingly, in the past, Ulaanbaatar was not a fixed city as it is today. In 1639, it was initially established as a Buddhist monastery for nomads. Due to the nomadic lifestyle that moved with the seasons, the monastery also changed locations continuously. Over more than 100 years, Ulaanbaatar was relocated 28 times, before settling in its current position in 1778 at the confluence of the Toul and Selba rivers. Prior to that, the city had various names such as Orga, Ik-Kure, and Bogdian-Kure. In 1924, when it became the capital of the Mongolian People's Republic, the city was officially renamed Ulaanbaatar, meaning Red Hero, in honor of the national hero Damdin Sukbatar. Ulaanbaatar is situated at an altitude of about 1,350 meters above sea level and is located deep inland. As a result, the city has a semi-arid climate with short, warm summers and long, dry, and extremely cold winters. July is the hottest month of the year, with temperatures reaching up to 39 degrees Celsius. In contrast, January is the coldest month, with nighttime temperatures sometimes dropping to -42 degrees Celsius. The average annual temperature is only around -2 degrees Celsius, making Ulaanbaatar one of the coldest capitals in the world. In recent years, desertification has become increasingly severe, forcing many nomadic families to leave the steppe and move to the capital in search of livelihoods. Having been accustomed to a nomadic lifestyle for generations, they often do not have permanent housing in the city. Instead, they set up jur tents next to each other, forming distinctive residential areas known as jur districts in the suburbs of Ulaanbaatar. Due to living in tents, the jur districts cannot connect to centralized heating systems like urban housing areas. In winter, residents have to manually burn coal to stay warm. When hundreds of thousands of households burn coal every day, the smoke and dust are trapped in the valley where Ulaanbaatar is located. As a result, the city frequently appears on lists of the most severely polluted air in the world. Number 12. A cuisine not meant for vegetarians. When traveling to Mongolia, the first thing you should prepare for is that green vegetables are so scarce here that many joke they have almost disappeared from the culinary map. The traditional diet of Mongolians primarily revolves around meat and dairy products. Vegetables rarely appear in daily meals, and there are good reasons for this. The climate in Mongolia is extremely harsh, with long winters where temperatures often drop to several degrees below zero, while summers are short and do not provide enough time for crops to grow. Most of the land is suitable for grazing livestock rather than for growing vegetables. Therefore, if there are any vegetables, they are usually imported or frozen for long-term preservation. The Mongolian menu mainly consists of mutton, beef, horse meat, and various dairy products such as yogurt, dried cheese, and butter. For meat lovers, Mongolia is truly a culinary paradise. Conversely, for vegetarians, it can be seen as a test of willpower and adaptability. Mongolians can eat meat for all 3 meals a day, prepared in many different ways such as boiling, stewing, grilling, drying, or even cooking with milk. During festivals or when hosting esteemed guests, the most popular dish is korkog, which is mutton cooked with hot stones. The preparation is quite unique, as fresh mutton is placed in a sealed pot along with heated stones. The stones retain heat for a long time, ensuring the meat cooks evenly, becoming tender, sweet, and infused with a distinctive smoky flavor. This dish is considered a representation of Mongolian hospitality. In addition to meat, an essential part of Mongolian cuisine is salty milk tea, known as su te tsai, completely different from the sweet milk tea familiar in many places. This tea is brewed from strong black tea, cow or horse milk, water, and salt. Sometimes, fat or butter is added for extra energy. The result is a rich, salty, hot, and filling drink that resembles a bowl of soup more than a cup of tea. If salty milk tea piques the curiosity of travelers, another specialty of Mongolia may leave many even more perplexed. That is sheep eye juice. True to its name, this drink is made from meat broth or diluted vinegar, with a whole sheep's eye added. Mongolians believe that this traditional beverage helps to sober up and restore health after long feasts. Number 13. The mysterious deadly location in Mongolia. In northern Mongolia, near the Sayan Mountains, there exists a lake known as Chatkan Kun. The locals often refer to this place with a chilling name, the lake that eats people. The lake is nestled deep within a desolate mountainous region and is rarely visited by anyone. What makes Chatkan Kun notable is not its scenery, but the mysterious disappearances that have been recorded over several decades. Many oral tales suggest that anyone who has ever dived into the lake or paddled out to its center never returns. Some survey teams from the Soviet era documented these phenomena. However, no investigation has ever found clear traces of the missing individuals. One theory posits that there are unusual deep holes at the bottom of the lake, creating strong whirlpools capable of pulling people and objects down without leaving a trace. Another hypothesis suggests that an underground cave system may connect to larger rivers, sweeping everything away from the area. Meanwhile, the locals believe that the lake is guarded by a spirit, and anyone who trespasses will be drowned. What is perplexing is that despite rescue teams using modern detection equipment, they have found no anomalies beneath the seemingly tranquil waters. The records, rumors, and folklore only serve to deepen the mystery surrounding Chatkan Kun. Number 14. The Kingdom of Toyota Prius Cars. Traffic in Mongolia is an experience that can surprise many travelers right from the first moments. On the same road, you can encounter both left-hand and right-hand drive vehicles operating side by side quite normally. This is due to the fact that most cars here are used vehicles imported from various countries. Cars from Japan are typically left-hand drive, while those from South Korea are right-hand drive. As a result, the streets of Mongolia become a rather unique blend. The Toyota Prius appears so frequently that locals joke that Mongolia is the kingdom of the Prius. When you leave the capital, the traffic picture becomes even more unusual. In rural areas, horses and camels remain common means of transportation. It's not uncommon to see modern cars having to stop in the middle of the road to allow a herd of horses to cross leisurely. Having been closely tied to livestock for a long time, Mongolians consider yielding to animals a completely natural act. There are routes where GPS systems do not display any information at all, yet locals navigate easily thanks to their memory, experience, and sense of the wind direction. Most paved roads in Mongolia are concentrated around the Ulaanbaatar area. The further you go from the center, the more the roads transition to dirt or gravel, and the maps on your phone begin to appear sparse. With its vast territory and low population density, paving the entire country is nearly impossible. However, this does not mean that the roads are in poor condition. In fact, many main routes remain quite smooth. It's just that you won't see the familiar lane markings or speed limit signs. The biggest trouble usually arises when it rains, as dirt roads quickly turn into muddy quagmires, enough to get vehicles stuck after just a few meters of travel. Number 15. Traditional festivals of the Mongolian people. The traditional festival of the Mongolian people is called Sagan Sar, which means White Month. This is the largest and most important traditional celebration of the year for the locals. Sagan Sar usually takes place around February, marking the transition from the old year to the new, bringing with it hopes for a prosperous beginning. Although Mongolia is located in Asia, the way the Mongolians celebrate the new year is quite different from neighboring countries. Instead of using bright colors, they place special emphasis on the color white. During the 3 days of the festival, people typically wear traditional white clothing, exchange white gifts, ride white horses, and the New Year dishes are also predominantly white, as they are mainly made from milk. In Mongolian culture, the color white symbolizes purity, good fortune, and a favorable start. In addition to Sagan Sar, Mongolia also hosts a very famous cultural festival called Naadam, which is usually held in July. This is a large-scale traditional sporting event that is rich in national identity and is often likened to the Olympics of the steppe. Naadam revolves around 3 traditional sports closely tied to Mongolian history: horse racing, archery, and wrestling. An interesting aspect of the Naadam festival is that there are no age restrictions for participation. In horse racing, children aged 6 to 13 can still become official competitors. The races typically take place on vast steppes and can be as long as 30 kilometers, requiring high endurance and exceptional horse riding skills. The archery event combines traditional and modern techniques, reflecting the image of nomadic archers who made their mark in Mongolian history. As for wrestling, the unique feature is that there are no weight classes. Therefore, matches are always unpredictable, as a smaller wrestler can completely defeat a larger opponent, creating a lively and surprising atmosphere for the audience. So we have gone through 15 interesting facts about Mongolia together. I hope the information shared has provided you with a new and clearer perspective on this colorful and unique country. If you found the video helpful, please hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss out on our upcoming exploration content, and continue to join us on our future journeys. The information is for reference only, so please do your own research before making any decisions.